just send guys out there to have 20-minute fucking matches all the time. So there's variety, there's recaps, there's pre-tape promos, there's live promos, there's matches, there's fucking angles. And, so pretty much the first half hour of that show was the tag match, which that's great every once in a while, but not all the fucking time. Anyway, Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. I came away with two impressions. I liked Toni Storm before, but after later on watching the other show and seeing Priscilla Kelly, Toni Storm looks like Chigusa Nagayo. And secondly, Io Shirai is what AEW wishes Riho was. Io doesn't act like a scared 10-year-old, and Storm has been to a decent wrestling school and is gorgeous and looks like a star. So, anyway, this went long, but there wasn't that much wrong with it. And suddenly Bianca Belair interferes for the DQ and gets a little heat. And here comes Rhea Ripley, and everybody just went nuts beating each other up. The angle afterwards I liked, was pretty good. The match was okay, and Rhea Ripley's just incredible. Just her look and everything she does.
But that's an example there of one of those times where, and I agree with you, I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan, but she comes out, her music has to play. She has to stand there and do her pose.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's all obviously staged, but, yeah, we're grading on what it is. One of my favorite moments of the night came up next. Finn Balor versus Joaquin Wilde. DJ Zema Ion. He was at, I can't remember what his real name even is. He was at a Ring of Honor tryout camp years ago. He was good even then. He's had some health issues and injuries. But this was the best piece of business of either show both nights because it accomplished exactly what it should have. Finn Balor's a star. He looks badass. His shit looks extra badass like the Dynamite Kids. It was a great squash match where he was in control of this whole thing. He is in control of his facials. He was in control of his body language. I don't know why the fuck that it's hard for them on NXT or for AEW at all to do this, but just put a star out there and have him beat the fuck out of somebody and get him over. If some of the people that were supposed to be stars on AEW had done this first, they might be stars now. It was the simplest thing, the best thing, and boy, he looks like fucking... He looks like Dynamite Kid without the bad habits, because when I first saw Dynamite, I said, my God, that guy looks like he could kill anybody and he could run 50 miles. It just, he's a physical freak, and Balor looks fucking incredible. And all the shit that he does, I'm sure it's snug, but they wouldn't let him do it if it looked as good, if it felt like it looks. I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was really good. I am someone who wasn't a Finn Balor fan, and then once he got to NXT, I've really enjoyed him since he's been back in NXT, since he left the main roster. I think he fits in better. I think he's really good. I've really enjoyed him in NXT, and it was a good match.
Next was Shayna Baszler versus Shotzi Blackheart. And I've got to be honest, you'll probably be able to fill me in on this because I like Shayna Baszler, but I saw Shotzi Blackheart. I wrote, what the fuck is the gimmick? A helmet with horns. She's howling. She has green hair. I went to get ice cream and Shayna Baszler choked her out. Did I miss anything?
Not much. Apparently she's a big Joan Jett fan. That's why her name is Mitzi Blackheart. And that was it.
Okay.
Shotzi Blackheart. Excuse me. Thinking of Mitzi.
Mitzi Shotzi.
Thinking of Mitzi Shore.
Mitzi Shore.
Shotzi Blackheart. Excuse me.
Well, you'll never make the Comedy Store now. Okay. Anyway, Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle versus Barthel and Eichner. Here's where I have an issue. I think that Imperium as a group looks cool. The German, fucking very European, the stances they have. Walter is a fucking star. I love him. But the other three guys, their names are so fucking made up that you can't, it's not like Kurt Von Hess and Carl Von Schatz. What is it? Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner, and the other guy is who? I can't remember. And then the Barthel and Eichner wrestled, and they are in identical outfits and an identical shade of pale, except one guy has a little hair and the other one doesn't. But in quick action, it's hard to tell them apart because they look so similar. They're great athletes, but I just don't like the names and the fact that when they all come out together, even though they even have their names on the screen, but what's like the goddamn shell game, once they start mixing up the order of them, you can't keep. Is it just me?
I don't like the names either, but I'm actually right now doing a quick search because someone had told me that they may not all be made up names.
Well, then somebody needed to make one up.
Okay, Marcel Barthel is apparently his real name.
Oh, well, there's a can. That's why the Crusher didn't go by Reggie Lisowski for his entire career.
Fabian Eichner, and boy, does that sound German. And he's not German, actually. Look at this. But that apparently is his real name. Alexander Wolf, his real name is Axel Tischer.
Can we get some fucking names? Is all I've Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner are their real names. All right. Is Walter his real name?
Hold on. Now I have to find out. Let's see. Let me click on Walter. It has to be. Although I believe it's pronounced Walter. His real name is Walter Hahn.
Well, fuck, that's great.
From Vienna, Austria.
Yeah, well, of course he is.
32 years old.
See, that's gorgeous. Anyway, all right. So there, I've registered that complaint. I'm not sure about Matt Riddle. He's so just the out of the body language and just the silly and he's one of those awkward style guys to work with. I'm sure. But everything's silly and I don't know. I like Pete Dunne. That crucifix bomb thing. I have never seen that or anything close to that. Do you remember that when he went up and did the crucifix where he's up on the guy's back and suddenly flips the guy over backwards on his fucking head?
Yeah, I hadn't seen that before either.
At least there were heels and baby faces here, clearly. Okay, but as I was watching this match, here's the problem. I was watching this match, and it was pretty good. Like I said, good athletes, and there were babyface and heels. Why did the referee look like he was wearing blackface?
What?
I dare anybody go back and watch this match from what was last night, January 22nd.
Yes.
Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle against the German guys on the NXT show, and now look at the referee, and you will never be able to unsee this. The back of his head was white. His face was dark. Once that I noticed it, all I could see, especially in the long shots for the rest of the match, I don't know what they were doing, it looked like the referee was wearing blackface. I defy somebody to tell me what the fuck was going on with this guy's complexion.
I'm so mad I deleted the
you deleted now. Yeah,
I'm looking for the video now. I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna find it.
I'm just telling you, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but the front of his face and the back of his head was two completely different colors, and I don't know. But anyway, this match they all ended up hitting 1,000,000 finishes, and suddenly Dunne and Matt Riddle won, and it got out of hand, I thought, but then Dunne and Riddle and the English guys that won the Drake and Edwards did a stagey confrontation on the stage. No pun intended, stagey confrontation with the trophy, a promo knocking each other with no interviewer. It looks so phony. They're standing awkwardly. There's no body language like there's animosity or there's tension. Riddle's making jokes and blowing the whole thing off because that's supposed to be his gimmick. There's nobody to separate these guys if they were really supposed to get up in each other's face or we're going to do it. It's just back and forth scripted banter with no real passion and animosity. I would, if I'd have been one of those guys to wake those people up, I'd have gone and slapped the fuck out of the other guy. And what was that? Was what Dick Beyer did one time to fucking Baba, right? Or He just walked up and slapped him, or it was one of those matches and said, come back, or what? No, Kowalski maybe. Anyway, whatever the fuck, just liven this shit up. Get up in each other's faces and start cussing at each other or something. Make it look legitimate. Anyway, what'd you think? And did you get anywhere with that video search?
I did, and it appears that he, I'm guessing, does some tanning or uses some tanning lotion on his skin.
That went drastically awry. Look, he looks like
he's very,
he is very dark. He looks like a fucking raccoon.
He is very dark. I have to say that. But I actually went the other way a little bit on. With Riddle, there is a unique charisma there, and people react to him. And I thought he was the only one on that promo after the match that did good, because it kind of sounded like things he would really say. The other guy from the Grizzled Young Veterans, it was, like you said, really stagey, really fake sounding. I can't get into Pete Dunne. And I know everyone tells me how good he is, and he's obviously talented, but I don't know if it's just because he looks dumpy, and I'm not trying to insult him, but just there's something that I just can't get into Pete Dunne. I don't know what it is. There's something missing when I watch him.
Maybe he's not done yet. He's still developing. He's not done.
Perhaps.
Anyway, but then we come to the star of our show, ladies and gentlemen, the North American title match, Keith Lee and Roderick Strong. Holy fuck. And I can't believe I'm astonished that Keith Lee's 35 years old, because one of the things that I was going to say in this goddamn review was that, especially for his weight and his size, to go this long at that pace that Roddy was getting out of him. And I heard Roddy at one point was like, get up, Keith. You could hear him because, Roddy's staying on him. He's the leader of the match. But his cardio, he's a freak. How can you move that much weight, that fast, that long, etc.?
Oh, I don't have an answer for that.
Well, apparently not. You don't. But he's a freak. I'm just asking. But these guys together are magic. The styles blend. Roddy keeps him in the match. He keeps his facials and his aggression up. He's smaller, but he takes the bumps. He can show Lee's, power and show the strength off, and he knows what he's doing. But at the same time, his offense is believable. They went for the leg. The spot with the steps on the ankle was fucking great. And to his credit, I don't even know how long Keith Lee's been wrestling, but he sold well. And you wouldn't think a guy that size has had that much experience with it. As Dr. Tom said earlier in the program, a lot of this is experience, being in front of people and getting it. And he was selling a couple times. He forgot to limp, but he sold it really well. The announcing, especially in this match, but I thought it was sharp all night. Everybody knows where they are. Everybody knows what they're trying to sell. Sometimes they get a little silly, but Beth Phoenix is getting more comfortable. The things that one thing took away from this match for me, that whatever they were trying to set up off the top rope was a buzz killer. And I wish they wouldn't do that, especially when you get a guy that size. It's obvious there's cooperation. You can't disguise it. When you got a guy that size, and having to slow climb and perch on ropes while Roddy's strong enough. Roddy is incredibly strong, especially for his body weight. You wouldn't believe how strong that fucking guy is. And especially at a deadlift type of situation, he was going to give him the angle slam off the fucking top, but the ropes, he couldn't get on the ropes. He couldn't get under him right. I think Keith Lee may have had his foot in the wrong place. You saw Roddy try to reposition it. He stayed with it a little longer than I would have before he gave up, and then finally he went back and got something different. But I just don't like those spots because it obviously takes cooperation to perch up there on the top rope that long with an opponent, supposedly. But otherwise than that, they'll probably bring the spot back and do it again where they went for the pounce over the top, because that didn't go. Keith Lee hit him so fucking hard. You could go back and see Roddy jumped with it, but Keith Lee propelled him forward so fast that Roddy's jump didn't get him to clear the top rope, and he just went into the top and cartwheeled over it. I'm glad those guys were there to break a little bit of his fall, but Mostly the apron was there to break his fall. But Roddy stayed on him,